Firstly, it gives me a great pleasure, and it's an honor to be here addressing all of you. Just to kind of help you see this, we've been working on Swami Vivekananda's ideas now for about 20 years. And in fact, over these 20 years, we've tried to apply these ideas of Swami Vivekananda in some of the largest companies in India. TCS, Tata Steel, State Bank of India, companies like that, and also abroad, and also in large universities. We are working right now with Orissa University for across 100 engineering colleges. We're working with Gujarat Technological University. And we also work with schools along with Ramakrishna Mission Delhi, where we have reached out to more than 1 million school children against spreading Swami Vivekananda's ideas. The reason I share this information with you is to help you see the point that this is a issue of how Swami Vivekananda's ideas should be assimilated in our life. Is for me a matter of great passion and concern both. You see, our education system is such that it teaches us many concepts, ideas, and fundamentally trains us to do well in exams. And our goal usually in a school or in an educational setting is to do well educationally, or to kind of be a topper or whatever there is to it. Now, this is a sharp goal, and therefore some of us do well. But life is a far more complex. And some of those who do very well also do well later in life, but some of them who don't do well, but some of them who do well academically need not do well also later in life, because they may not have something else which is necessary to deal with the world outside. Now, all this has been true for many years. But now the situation seems to be slightly different. And I think what was a concern has now become a crisis. That's why I thought that it is, I took this opportunity when Ranjan reached out to us to share with you some of these ideas, because we can't talk enough and we cannot discuss enough this issue of how to make all of us individually and collectively at a university level, at a college level, at an individual level, how to make ourselves future ready. So for the next about 35-40 minutes, I'd like to talk about some of these ideas related to that and how Swami Vivekananda's vision will help us. And after that, obviously, we'll look for a question-answer session. But the focus behind all this is not to give you any quotes and to try to give you more advice, which if you are not already getting enough, but to figure out how to help you really stand up and become strong and face and handle a changing world. So that is the objective of this entire discussion and the thrust of my conversation. So if it's okay with you, I will now walk you through, I will use a presentation to walk you through some of the ideas. And after that, we will have the discussion after that. So let me begin with the next slide, which is that this is the latest Harvard Business Review. Now, I do not know how many of you have heard of this magazine, but Harvard Business Review is the world's one of the world's premier business kind of journals, which is read by CEOs from across the world, in India also and abroad also. See the title of that Harvard Business Review. This says September, October 2021. That is this month. September, October. It says, how do we create future-proof organization? What does future-proof mean? Future-proof means that how do I create an organization that can handle a future which is uncertain or unsure or very different. And see, if you see on the left-hand side, it says rebuild your workforce for the post-pandemic world. So people are realizing that post-COVID, post-pandemic, many of the rules of business, of work, of society have really undergone a change. So this is not really a matter of coming back to college or classes starting again or classes ending again or whether exams are held on time or not. All these are the trivial problems. The real issue is that the workplace outside, the career place where all of you are going to enter is radically changing. And this is not a matter of concern only to students of Mangalore University. This is a matter of concern to all CEOs across the globe. It is a matter of concern to Harvard Business Review, to Government of India, to everybody. And therefore, it is also a very serious matter of concern to us how to become future ready to deal with this. Because that future-proof organization will require a future-proof or a future-ready individual. Because an individual also has to fit into such an organization who is able to survive in such a world. And that is what this entire conversation is going to be all about. And how we are going to do it is really the challenge in front of us. So why is this future readiness a matter of issue or a concern or something we should worry about? Look at the future that we are trying to prepare for. First of all, many of you already know that there is a tremendous amount of automation taking place. We have seen our experience of a bank itself, a bank branch has changed so much in the last 2 decades. Like just 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when we talked about digitization and automation in a bank, in a branch, people would say, oh yes, it's there, it will come, but business will be as usual. But today we know, for example, Axis Bank and so many major Indian banks have got rid of people. Their average branch size is only 5 people, 6 people. So Canara Bank, State Bank, all of them still continue. They're also concerned about how to manage it. Many of us, how is our behavior? We go to ATMs, we go directly to, we try to do all the banking online. Our booking we do online, we order food online. So automation and digitization is anyway spread all around us. And we are ourselves beneficiaries of it, no question. But if you think from a company's point of view, it is facing competition from all that. Career opportunities are new. We are sitting in Mangalore, but if I can do work from home, why should your work from home be only in Mangalore? It can be anywhere. For example, my own company actually has hired a software engineer. One of our software engineers who works with us is staying in Chidambaram and in Tamil Nadu. He doesn't want to leave his house. Few years ago, he would have had to leave his family, leave everything, come to Bombay and, buy a house there or, take a house on rent. He will need a salary to justify that. Here he's getting a very good salary, Bombay level salary, sitting in Chidambaram. And he's looking after his family also and he's happy and he has got a job there. Similarly, one of our employees is sitting in Nagpur, similarly in other places. TCS is doing that. Most of the large companies are doing that. That's a fantastic opportunity for all of you. So if you are good sitting in Mangalore, living the lifestyle of Mangalore, the comfort of family and friends, you can actually have an international job. We have to start thinking like that. That's all. We should not imagine that only that the companies around us are important or only TCS recruitment is important or some other thing is important. We have to visualize that there can be opportunities anywhere in the globe. Third is because of that, we will also work anywhere in the globe. And there are new and career opportunities also means your social media is an opportunity. Your working with people is an opportunity. All kinds of new opportunities are coming up. So we don't have to necessarily follow a fixed pattern of thinking. We don't have to be engineer, doctor, that kind of thinking, BCom, this. Wherever we are, we can think of completely new ideas. But who is there to tell us and how do we discuss it? It is the only question for us. We have to be in a position to open our mind, discuss with people in a positive way, and say all this is open to us, and how to become future ready, we will discuss. Other main problem is whatever you study will become outdated in 5 years, 6 years. If you do some software course today, spend 50,000 rupees, 30, 40,000 rupees, you think it will last. 5 years later, that software will be obsolete, which means that after, again, you will have to spend 50,000, 1 lakh next 3, 4 years later. This will go on, which means that you have to learn how to learn. We have to learn itself, which actually our education system doesn't teach us. Our education system teaches us how to get marks. It is not teaching us how to learn, because we are not used to learning. We are only used to studying. And there's a big difference between learning and studying. While the new world requires learning, not studying. So that's also one more issue for all of us. Plus, customer expectations are changing. Today, you take yourself, you have got access to Apple phones, you have got access to Samsung, you have got all this. If an Indian company comes and gives you one tool and gives you a new mobile, will you accept it? You will compare it with a Samsung. You will compare it. If tomorrow somebody sets up a website today, you will not just say, oh, your website is very good. You will compare that website with a Google website, with XYZ website all over the world, and say it is not good enough. That means your standards, your own standards, forget other people's standards. You are just like your employers, your standards, even your own standards have become world class without your realizing it. Sitting in Bangalore, you have got world standards already embedded in your mind. Now just imagine, now when you go to a workplace, others are also like that. So if you do an ordinary job, you think people will accept it? They will say, I want excellence. If you are doing customer service, that person who is receiving your customer service will say, I want world-class customer service. If you are doing a job there, I want world-class job, which means the standards expected by you is much higher. And now the standards expected by others from you is also going to be higher, because you are also going to work in the same company, right? If today you go order a pizza, you will say, I want that pizza in 30 minutes. No questions asked. Otherwise, I'll return it. But tomorrow, if you are a manager of a pizza outlet, then you're on the other side of the table. You have to deliver it like that. You have to deliver it in 30 minutes. That means you have to be on the ball from morning to night. Just think about it in a different way. Let us not look at ourselves only as consumers and imagine that our life as a worker and a life as a consumer are two different lives. No, they are one and the same life. You are one day a consumer, one day you are a buyer, one day you are a seller. One day you are an employee, the other day you are a consumer. In such an environment, can you imagine that all what you expect, others expect from you? Once that happens, your future is that, and you have to prepare for that future. You cannot say that I cannot do anything shoddily. I have to operate in this world. Look at the last point, collaborative and dynamic environment. Why? To earlier, everyone told us this is the age of specialization. That was true 10 years back. Today products have to come out at high speed. So they are saying, yes, I want you to be specialized, but I also want you to collaborate together to find answers. That means I want specialization plus integration. First, 50 years ago, it was the age of generalization. 20 years ago, it was the age of specialization. Today, it is the age of collaboration, which means integration plus specialization is equal to collaboration. So now this is the world that you are trying to enter. Now, how to prepare for this world? What to do in this world? How am I going to prepare? This is the real question that you really need to ask yourself. Each one of us in this room, in this webinar, has to ask ourselves this question. Now, let's go to the next slide. This is the basic principle of Swami Vivekananda to remember, that the most important thing I will carry into the future is me. I do not know how many of you know this story, but when Swamiji was young, he was a young boy, his mother one day, she was very sad and upset that his father was giving away money to relatives and was very generous and so on and so forth. And that is known because he was over generous and all that. Therefore, the Swamiji and his family faced a lot of financial problems after his father suddenly died. But when he was doing that, when he was giving, his mother once told Swamiji, she called him and said, go and ask your father, what will you leave for me? She asked him, you please tell me that if you are gone, what will you leave for me? So this boy, young Naren, Swami Vivekananda is a young boy, went and asked his father, what will you leave for me? So his father took him and made him stand in front of a mirror and say, I will leave you this. So this is what this picture is showing, that actually your real asset is you. Do not imagine that your father's assets are there, uncle's assets are there, grandfather's assets are there. No. Now don't imagine your degree is an asset. Don't imagine all that is the asset. The most important thing that you will carry into the future is yourself. So how do you shape yourself, train yourself, prepare yourself, design yourself? That is the question which is about future readiness. So future readiness doesn't mean trying to get X degree versus Y degree. It doesn't really matter whether you are an engineer or a BCom. It doesn't really matter all these things. These all has short-term value. The real long-term value will be, are you preparing yourself to be like Swamiji? When Swamiji faced so many hardships, he faced all kinds of people. That question which his mother asked, and which his father answered by saying, I'm leaving behind you, it turned out to be such an important question that 10 years later, after his mother asked that question, 15 years later, 10 years later, or 7-8 years later, when Swamiji was there and they did not allow him into the Parliament of Religions. At that time, a Harvard professor, he wrote a letter to the Parliament of Religion authorities and said to ask Swamiji for his qualifications is like asking the sun for its right to shine. He says that, will you go and ask the sun, what is your degree for shining? There is no degree needed, nothing is needed. It doesn't need any introduction. It just shines and it sheds light. And that is all that is important. Similarly, each one of you has to be so good that actually opportunities will come, jobs will come, everything will come to you as you go along. So this is the most important thing that you have to carry into the future. This is the first and the fundamental message of Swamiji to all of you. And this is the central piece of becoming future readiness. The most important thing you will carry into the future is me. That I will carry into the future is me, myself. Not my degree, not my qualifications, not my contacts, not my networks or not my family assets, not my father's connections. No. What I will carry into the future is myself. Can we accept that truth? The day you accept that truth, you will start building yourself very differently. Okay, next point. If you have to prepare for the future, and that is really the next part of this whole conversation, is how? How should I do it? How should I prepare myself for the future? This tree is you. This tree represents you. So you look at this tree and say that what will this tree, which is me, why am I called it a tree? Because it will have roots, it will have fruits. So in that thing, let us look at what does this tree, which is me, what does it carry? First and foremost, and that is what we will enter into. There are 5 basic building blocks, and I will go deeper into it in each subsequent slide. That these 5 building blocks you have to build in yourself if you want to become future ready. And this is what I would really like that you take notes on this if you can. Make sure that you know these 5 things, because this is what we have worked with now 4 million people in India's top organizations across the place. So what I'm talking to you is based on the experience of 4 million people working. So it might be useful for you to utilize this slide in a nice way. So now let us go to the next slide. First thing is self-confidence. You have to build self-confidence. Now, what is self-confidence? Self-confidence is a very big word. Self-confidence doesn't mean showing off. Self-confidence doesn't mean trying to be aggressive. Self-confidence doesn't mean wearing fancy clothes and trying to talk big. No, self-confidence means having I can. What I can do. You must have that inner confidence that I can do this. If someone tells you, can you organize this event? You should say, I can. If someone tells you, I can go, can you get this done, job for me done? You should be able to say, I can, and then go and do it. Not just show off and say, yeah, I can do it when the time comes. Sorry, I can do it and I will do it. That's all there is to it. Say, and each time you do one small I can, so you study for an exam, don't say I will do well. When the time comes, I will study. When board exams come, I will study. At this time, I will study that time. No, I can do well in this exam. Let me struggle. Let me try to do my best. I can do it. When I do it, when I actually do well, what will happen? One level of the mountain will be crossed. I will move to first step of I can. I will do better next time, or a more complicated exam or a more complicated job comes up. I will climb further into the mountain. I will go to the next level of I can. Like that, step by step, I will keep going, developing my I can. So as you go on developing your I can, one day you will become like one of these people who are there, who are able to build and do anything. Swami Vivekananda's I can was so much that he said that I can rebuild India itself. That is the level of I can that Swamiji built. I can rebuild a nation. And I can transform a nation itself of and those days 400 million people. And his workers even today are talking everywhere. This talk is there because so many of his workers have arranged it. Whether it is in the Bangalore University, whether it's from the Bangalore Mutt, whether it is us, all workers of Swamiji even now are doing his work. That is I can. His I can is spread. And therefore you also should abide that spirit. Every day ask yourself, what is the new I can I have got? If I have got some I can, go to sleep peacefully. If you have not developed any new I can in that day, you should feel your day is wasted. You should feel that today I did not grow as a person. Every day ask yourself, what I can I develop? That's all that is needed. This is called developing self-confidence. Do it in every area. Do it in your art. Do it in organizing. Do it in your studies. You do it in any other area that you want. In applying for a job, anywhere you go, you try out that I can. If you are in a job, trying out new jobs to be done there, new assignment your job boss gives you, say, yes, sir, I can. Let me try. Let me do it. And try to make it succeed. Develop your confidence, climb up. This is the first thing that you have to build. First and most important thing to build. Next. Second thing that you will have to build is that there are certain work practices. Now, I'm not going to get into the detail. In fact, we are running a course in Orissa and all for all of this. But the basic point that I want you to, in Orissa, we are doing where each of these items is developed, etc. But the main thing in all these work practices, if you will look at it, if you go into the whole thing, is that work ethic should be one of trying to be a contributor work ethic. Whatever I do, I should contribute. I should make a difference. All these 6 practices are contributor work ethic. I should be able to contribute. Whatever I do, don't say what I will get. Say what I can give, what difference can I make. That is how you should be thinking about it. Okay, and these kind of work practices which are there, you should develop it slowly. If you develop even 1 or 2 of these, you will be going in the right direction. Whether it is thinking solutions, whether it is creating value for your, customers are not just interested, or in your job, if you take up a job, you'll go and say, sir, I want higher salary. You'll say, okay, I'll give you salary. But what value you are creating? If you say, no, I'm not creating any value for you, then and I'm just sitting there and getting job, why should he give it to you? He'll say, no, you create equal value for me, 3 times value, 4 times value. I will give you whatever salary you want. So many people who are paid high salary are not paid just like that. That's because they create value. Go deep into a subject. That is called engaging deeply. Think and work with others in a collaborative manner. Think about the customer, think about others, not just self-centered. And try to, whatever word I give, how do I keep it each time, every time? Trust conduct means what? If you give a word, you must keep it. If you say, sir, I'll finish it by tomorrow, finish it by tomorrow. That is the way to think about it. I'll answer questions afterwards. Let me first get the basic thinking done, okay, and program done. And so I think somebody has raised their hand. I will not get into it right now. Later, I will definitely answer all these questions. So this contributor work practices are very, very important. And main idea is to start contributing in whatever you do. That is, say that I am not taking a job only for getting a job and having a power or position or responsibility. I am getting a job because I should make a difference. If that simple attitude is there, define politicians, why we don't like many of them? We don't like many of them because they want to take, they don't want to contribute to our life. But whichever politician contributes to our life, we are very happy with them. We elect them again and again. Why? Because we want people to contribute to us. Teachers who contribute to us, we are very happy for them. Wherever it is, bosses who contribute to us, we are happy with them. Same in your own life. If you contribute to others, others will be happy with you. Okay, next point. Career choices you have to make. When you are making career choices, remember that there are many fruits in the bazaar of the world. The world bazaar is not so simple. There are financial fruits. You can make money, definitely. But there are other fruits. There are social fruits, whether others value you or not. There is relationship fruits. Do you want to have good relationships or not? Or are you going to have, there are people who have financial fruits, but they don't have any relationship fruits. So their family life is gone. Their relationship with children is gone. So in the bazaar of the world, you may not have relationships or you may not have social fruits. There is a person, Dawood Ibrahim, may have a lot of financial fruits, but he may even have some relationship fruits with all his fellow thugs. But social fruits, he has none. None of us respect him and none of us, we may fear him, but we don't respect him. We don't think he's doing it. Similarly, intellectual fruits. There are so many intellectual fruits that one can get through reading, through work, etc. One can develop one mind. Contribution fruits. That means I can create fruit just when I serve others. I feel a great joy, service, joy of service, joy of making a difference to other people's world. That fruit is a very sweet fruit, which many people get. And especially sadhus, bigger people, that the more you develop those who are doing real social service in the spirit, they develop so much, which is there. They get these fruits, spiritual fruits, which very high swamis and others get. But all of us can try little spiritual fruits we can get if we go in that journey. So what you have to ask is, when you are making your career choices, don't be only focused on one type of fruit. Don't say, I will only eat bananas, I will only eat apples. So remember, there are many kinds of fruits. And you can have a balanced diet of many fruits. And if you think like that, then your career choices will also be balanced. Your reaction, you will not make reactive choices. Oh, there is one new job there, they're giving higher salary. I will leave another job where I'm learning a lot. Leave that and go there only because, and I've seen careers getting spoiled because of that. I know one person who was there, wonderful. He was doing very well in a company, in a multinational, this company, in a FMCG company, in a paints company. He was working very well, doing brilliantly. After that, suddenly some financial services company told him, I'll give you a higher salary, 5,000 rupees more or something. He left this and went there. There, after that, his whole career went for a toss because he was not. Then now he regrets. He said, for that 5,000 rupees per month there, I lost a whole career. These things should not happen to you. So therefore, keep in mind that in the bazaar of life, there are many fruits. And you should try to have a balanced diet of all fruits, not only one type of fruits instead of others. So that choice when you make, that is also leads to somebody who is a very stable personality. You don't become unstable chasing only one thing or the other. And therefore, that is very important. Next point. Whatever degrees you get, whether it's technical degree, non-technical degree, what are you using it for? Is it only for getting a job? No, think about yourself. But if you can also think about your organization, if you think about society a little, use whatever you have been given by society a little for others. When you start doing that, that tree starts becoming more and more rich with fruits. Remember that. So roots are very important. First and first, fundamental is I can. You should develop self-confidence. If you develop these practices, you learn to be a contributor everywhere, you will start developing the trunk. If you start making good choices, you will develop nice branches which are very strong. Now, if you go one level further, you will develop nice leaves and you will develop you will develop wonderful fruits, and you will get lots of fruits also, and you will develop lots of this one, there will be a nice foliage with which you can develop. But all this, your life will look rich and full like this tree. And then when you go even further, which is there, Most important, this kind of tree that you have developed, you have got the roots, you have got the thing, you have got all of it. When you make it strong, what will happen? So this is called building a strong tree. So the strong tree, when you build, what will happen because of it? When you develop such a strong tree, you will be able to face any environment. If you see in the left-hand side, you'll see sun is there, the rain, storm is there. If it's a weak tree, little storm comes, little thing comes, it breaks and falls down. But you should remain strong. So when COVID comes, so one big thing comes, so many people, if they are less important, a company out of 100 people will get rid of 30 people. Which 30 people will get rid of? It will get rid of the 30 weakest people. Strongest people it will keep. So if the stronger you are, your tree will be strong. It will face any kind of environment. And when you do that, and to achieve that, there is one last thing which you have to build, which is that when you do all these things, you will develop a new kind of mind. And that new kind of mind is not a static mind, not a mind which says that, okay, I will do everything routinely, I will do everything. It should be a dynamic oriented mind. So this I have shown like a sportsman, but this is not really a sportsman. It is actually your own mind. That mind should be able to play with the ball. You see in football how they do. They are able to turn and move, and so they become dynamic, and they are able to deal with every situation which is there. So that you start practicing like that, build this tree and dynamically deal with situations, adapt to situations. Today things are going badly, don't complain. Something else has happened, suddenly exams are shifted, curriculum, something is happening, somewhere else there's any other problem. Adapt. Don't complain, adapt. Don't say, oh, these people, university is wrong, parents are wrong, friends are wrong, these people, they are not doing this, they are not doing that. You try to take a view whereby you are able to lift up and say, I will dynamically deal with any situation. You are facing a crisis in your life, no worries. Let me deal with it. It's just like a sportsman, tough tennis match, somebody is playing, a ball is coming there, go and hit it in a new way. Ball is trying to go, somebody is trying to put the ball in the goal, how that fellow will cut across and immediately deflect the ball. What is all that behavior? That is dynamically responding to life. So don't complain, don't be rigid, don't sit down and say, oh, I'm facing so much trouble. We are in Bangalore, what will we do? We are not having opportunities, there are no jobs nowadays. Where there is, and complaining about economy, complaining about various political parties, complaining about university. Leave all that complaining aside, all that unnecessary completely. What is important is that you have to become dynamic, face the circumstances. Don't blame others. And instead, just start playing and engaging with life in a dynamic way. That is the fifth and last piece in the whole puzzle. When you do this whole thing, you will start building and becoming a person who is radically very, very different. And when you do that, that is really the key to the whole thing. I will want to kind of close my this basic talk for you with a quotation from Swamiji, which is very important. And please make a note of this if you can, in whatever way, which is that you must combine in your mind immense idealism. What does immense idealism mean? I want to be a great citizen. I want to be something. I want to do something good for myself, for self, for organization, for society. All that is immense idealism. Not that, I have to be crooked in order to deal with life. I have to break rules in order to deal with that. That is not idealism. But at the same time, with that idealism, I want to do something good for the country. Be practical, find answers, solve the problems, try to go deep into it, take a scientific approach to anything and say, let me solve it. Let me try it out. Can I set up my own business? Can I do this? Can I do that? So immense idealism I should have, and I must have immense practicality also. Similarly, you should be able to go into deep meditation. That means you must be able to go to Ramakrishna Mutt, for example, or somewhere, or whichever other spiritual practice you follow, wherever. Go there, go do deep meditation in that subject, in whatever it is. Do deep meditation on your own subject. In mathematics, in science, do deep meditation. Go deep into the subject. And next minute, go there and practically start organizing things, start doing things everywhere. You should be able to do that. So this attitude which is there, of both going inward, outward, all this will come. This is a very high state. I want you to go in that state. Right now, I just want you to remember. If I were to go back and show you the tree, I want you to go back many steps and show you that tree and say, this is the tree that you need to prepare yourself for. So while that is the higher order idea, at the immediate idea is prepare yourself for this future ready world by becoming this tree, building self-confidence, developing a proper work ethic, not saying that I will just manage. No chalta hai will work. No chalta hai attitude. No, I will do it later in my life attitude. No, it has to be done correctly. Third is take a balanced view of your life. Try to take all types of fruits, not only one type of fruits. And don't think only about yourself. Think about your family. Think about the community. Think about society. So whatever job you take up, you might be working in a government, use that government job for welfare of everybody. You are in a university job, use it for welfare of everybody. You are in a small scale sector, use it as a welfare for everybody, not only for yourself, not only me, myself, no, for everybody. And last point is, develop that dynamic mind so that whatever situation comes, don't wait for others to solve your problems for you. Stand up and solve it yourself, and you'll be able to achieve it. So with these few words, I would now invite you to ask questions. I think we have about 15 minutes. So in the next 15 minutes, we'll be more than happy to answer questions. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this thoughtful session and your ideas. So I got a question from a student through a WhatsApp message asking that, sir, we have a lot of doubts and questions regarding the decision making. So, for example, if I set a goal particularly, every 5 years or 2 years, it changes. So how I can fix the goal? Can you provide your thoughts?
So somebody is talking, I think.
Yes, yeah. Yes, sir. Please.
This is a very natural. Your goals will go on evolving over time because as our exposure increases, as opportunities also change in the world, our goals and our choices and our options will go on changing and evolving, correct? So there's nothing wrong with that. But what is the common factor? What is the common factor in you between the age of 7, in the 7th standard, 10th standard, junior college, senior college, post, everything? The common factor is you yourself. If your self-confidence grows, that is your common factor. That is exactly what I'm saying. That in a future, in a world which is very uncertain, options will go on changing. Options will go on changing. But if you are strong, if you can handle if you are going to develop this attitude that I will develop self-confidence and I will focus on developing myself, then I can change my choice. Nothing stops you even 10 years from now. You may be working in a job after 10 years and you might say, no, I want to change my career and go somewhere else. First class, go ahead and do it. But you must have self-confidence. You must have those qualities. You must have the work ethic. So those basic things of being a contributor, having that work ethic, that should be developed every day. That you cannot suddenly develop at that age. You cannot develop suddenly at the age of 40, 50, 60 suddenly. It has to be developed year after year, day after day, month after month. Then only things will develop. So I think, so the answer is that let your choices change, but you should not change. You should go on growing every day. Is that very clear?
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.